Y'all ever notice how people who I'm guessing are atheists, but they try to dispute the legitimacy of the Bible, always use points that are easily disprovable if you've actually read the Bible? Like, and it goes to show their lack of preparation and their lack of understanding that the Old Testament was essentially just the Torah, which means it was its own book prior to the Bible being compiled. But because they don't understand that, and they don't understand that a lot of the issues and the holes that you're trying to poke in the Bible are filled with the Old Testament, meaning that the Old Testament, being the foundation that the New Testament is built on, would disprove 98% of the things that you're trying to say are wrong in the Bible. Like, the Old Testament is not only the history, but it's the understanding of how Jesus came to be. That's the whole point of the Old Testament. How did Jesus get here? Why was Jesus brought here? And what is Jesus supposed to do? And then the New Testament starts and you see Jesus's life. And then from there, the effect Jesus had on the world. The other piece is they don't use arguments that wouldn't necessarily disprove even the most, what we consider the most legitimate of historical sources. Most of our historical sources are literally just some dude or some woman went out into the world, found a rock that looked like something, found a scrape mark, found a little tool or a piece of a tool or marking, and they were like, this is what I think it means, and they rolled with it. They weren't eyewitnesses. In fact, they weren't eyewitnesses for seemingly thousands of years based off of their own discoveries. But we'll take what they say as fact versus people who were actually there, the actual people who did the thing. Like, the whole Old Testament basically was written by the people who were there, the people who actually did it. Moses was there. The New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, they were there. Like, it's so weird to me that we would say, oh, they were eyewitnesses to a miracle, but they can't be trusted and legitimized. But this dude who came 10,000, 100,000, a million years later, scraped up a rock with a mark on it, was like, this is what this civilization was. And we're like, It just reeks of desperation, man. Like, at the end of the day, if you don't want to follow the word of God, you don't have to. Like, we're not forcing that on you. It is a choice. And if anybody's forced that on you, I apologize on behalf of all believers, because it is a choice. But at the end of the day, if you're going to try to poke a hole in the biblical story, in anything that we're saying from a believer standpoint, you gotta at least read it first, because otherwise you just sound stupid.